Cleanse them. Cleanse the world of their ignorance and sin. Bathe them in the crimson of... Am I on speakerphone?
No, absolutely not. Speakerphone, no.
Okay.
Statistical fact. Cops will never pull over a man with a huge bong in his car.
You can die with them, or you can die for them.
Gosh, they're both so enticing. Tequila is my lady! My lady! Come on in, guys.
Welcome, patrons, to Midnight Cinema. I am Art Hennessey in San Diego.
Wow, that was... You really leaned in on that one. And I am Erik Rodenhiser from Salem, Massachusetts. Normally I'd have a witty something from the movie, but your opening blew me away. So thank you for that.
All right. Well, this week we are here to discuss the 2011 film Cabin in the Woods, directed by Drew Goddard, starring Kristen Connolly, Chris Hemsworth, Thor, Anna Hutchinson, Franz Kranz, C. Williams, Richard Jenkins, and Bradley Whitford. So, Eric, you're excited. I can see already.
Yes, I'm very giddy. I think I just peed my pants. Metaphorically. No, is that right? Yeah, I'm so excited about this movie, Art, because this is a lot of people's favorite, big time. Good people love this movie, but I've seen this movie again probably way too many times. So, hooray. But yes, we both love this movie. And so I would highly recommend, I know you say this all the time, but don't listen to this if you didn't watch it. Don't watch a preview. Just watch the movie. Then come back. and see us.
That's right. Because we're going to dive in deep into this movie. That's what we usually do. Yeah. So when I first saw this movie, I'd heard the buzz about it. It had gone to a few festivals in 2011. And I saw it opening weekend. And I knew from the buzz to avoid trailers, to avoid reading too much. So I went into this movie kind of not knowing what the deal was. So my first viewing back at the Somerville Theater in 2012, I think, was a pretty pristine viewing. I was confused, excited, intrigued as I went through the journey of this movie.
Yes, I agree, because I didn't really know what it was about when I went into it. And I think, yes, we're going to go through this movie too much. I think people are going to be like, okay, guys, but there's so much to talk about. And I will say that we don't usually talk about the excitement of the movie. We just kind of go into it. Mm-hmm. But this movie just throws you around in great ways. It surprises you. And if you love horror movies, it's awesome. See, we're already reviewing it, aren't we? We're supposed to wait to the end.
But that's okay. Our excitement is going through. I will say I was surprised just reading a few things about this movie that the two writers, Drew Goddard and Joss Whedon, they said that they wrote it in 3 days. So I'm really impressed.
Hey, I'm letting you know I'm going to stand up so you can see.
Ooh, I see everything that's going on. Well, there's a lot on that shirt. Eric's wearing a shirt that has a lot of creatures on it, mythological creatures, and we'll get to it.
And a mermaid as well.
That's right. We talked about Death of a Unicorn last week, and that was a mythological creature.
Yes.
And you mentioned that there was a unicorn in this movie.
Yes.
And we're going to get to it. So we start the movie. First of all, one thing I noticed that was kind of interesting is and the movie opens interestingly with sort of things almost like you'd see on like cave walls or something like that, right? Like paintings of sacrifice and things going on in this sort of bloody red tinge, sort of archaic, ancient. That's what it's wanting to evoke as it goes through. And the score is sort of soaring in that horror movie sort of way.
Yes, it is. But then it just snaps back to a completely different thing. All of a sudden you're in an office space with these two guys. They look like they work for Staples or something. They got shirts and ties, probably in their 40s, right? Great actors. I loved it. And here's what I love about the movie. Again, see, it's hard for me. First of all, Art, just listening to our podcasts, I'm going to make it my mission to not say again as many times. So again, I'm not going to say again as many times again. But the scene here is two guys talking about something, and if you watch the movie and then watch it again, it's a completely different movie. This scene is a completely different scene, but you know nothing. It's two guys in an office talking about office work
and home life. Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford are playing these guys. Like you said, they look like something out of Office Space, the movie Office Space, right? That's what it calls to mind. Right?
Yes, Office
and
Space.
Bradley Whitford is talking about his wife has installed child-proof locks on everything in the house because they're trying to have a child, but they don't even have a child yet. She's not even pregnant yet. And she's installing all these things and it's really annoying him. And right away, I think the screenwriters, they're smart. They're introducing into just our brains the idea of security procedures and what's the use of overly thinking this through. They're talking about some operation that's happening in Sweden that just didn't go so well. And they're like, oh, the Swedes always mess everything up. And they said, well, there's another operation going on in Japan.
Japan's undefeated. Yeah. And you're like, what are you talking about? And then they say that it's just us in Japan now. You're like, what are you talking about? And then some woman starts showing up and she's like, guys, this could be a mess, a big mess. And they kind of ignore her.
Yeah. What also you're noticing, Eric, as they start to go out, oh, this is like a James Bond villain type of place. This isn't just an office. There's like a rock wall on one side and they're getting in a little go-kart to go wherever they're going, right? So you're also starting to get the idea that it's a large complex. They have to take a go-kart to go to wherever they're going after getting their coffee. And Richard Jenkins, he has a lid on the coffee cup and he's trying to get the lid off while Bradley Whitford is trying to talk to him about home life and Bradley Whitford's like, are you even listening to me? It's just such an office, mundane thing. We should mention, too, the woman is from the chem department. And Bradley Whitford notes that in 1998, something messed up and it was the whose fault was that, he says? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, the chem department messed up last time. And watching this movie twice or going and finding out information, you really enjoy that line later on. But and then I love that they just cut to it. Are you even listening to me? It's like title car.
Oh, bam!
Cover in the woods.
Boom! There's a loud noise. It's a smash cut.
Yeah,
and cut right into could be the opening of any horror movie, Eric, that we've ever watched. The opening scene.
Yes, because it's not now. You're going, what is this? Cabin in the Woods. What are they talking about? But now, yes, it's they're not teens, right? They're 20s.
They're college. They're definitely college. Yeah. So I don't know what year in college they're in, but that we're getting that feeling.
They're getting ready to go camping they're getting ready to go on a camping trip. You know, like all college students do is they say, let's go to this campsite that we've never been to deep in the woods. That'll be fun. And then they introduce the characters.
We come in through the window. And what's the first thing we notice about our hero, Dana, here?
Well, maybe should we say it at the same time, or do you want to, just in case we were noticing different things?
Oh, well, I was noticing she's got red hair.
Did she have red hair?
Yes, like a reddish brunette.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Were you noticing that too? Yeah.
Well, she did have red hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also fun. I just remembered she wasn't wearing pants. She was wearing underwear.
Right. And we're clearly meant to see that. And I think the first time you're watching this movie, you're like, oh boy, there's the gratuitous nudity, right?
Well, it wasn't quite gratuitous nudity though.
No, but the gratuitous shot of the PG-13 gratuitous nudity, right?
But they're dragging you in. They're dragging you in. They're like, this is a horror movie, so we're going to show you attractive people, and we're going to show you right away that there may or may not be nudity because this person's in their undies. But they're not really acting sexy. They're just in their apartment. It looks like San Francisco to me. Where are they?
It's a great apartment, I have to say.
Oh my God.
I really liked it. I thought this is great. I would have loved to have this room when I was in college.
Somebody's dad is rich.
Right. And
Mom.
they're packing for the trip, and Jules, her friend, comes out, and Jules is a blonde. Apparently, we haven't seen her as a brunette, but we're introduced to her as a blonde. But it's a nice moment where the friend's really surprised, and they mention that her boyfriend, who's going on this trip, is going to be very excited that she's a blonde. I think they're hoping, anyways.
Switched up her hair, and she's fun. They're both fun characters.
We're noticing that she's sketched in a book, her professor. So, if you notice that,
I was focusing on something else in that scene. I didn't really. I was focusing on other things.
And we're learning that there's going to be a guy coming along on the trip that could possibly be a romantic interest for Dana. Jules is mentioning that. And then we get introduced to Thor. Thor comes in.
Wow. Yes. And we usually do this at the end, but it was one of his first major roles. And this movie didn't come out until after Thor came out. So he was already a star when this came out. But if we had seen this without seeing Thor, he would be just somebody. When I watched it, I didn't say, "Oh, this is who are we talking about?"
Chris Hemsworth.
Yes, Chris Hemsworth.
Yes.
So I didn't know it was Chris Hemsworth, meaning it was just another actor.
Yeah. And he's doing a great job here. He's playing the athlete, the jock. Right? The jock character. We see that he's throwing a football. He enters the scene going, think fast. Improbable, the football goes through the window and outside, and Holden, the guy who's going to be coming along with them, catches it downstairs. They seem like people you'd want to hang around with for a movie, like they're friends. I liked all of this stuff at the beginning, right?
Yes, you don't dislike the characters. The jock athlete is not unlikable, and none of the other characters are unlikable. And then the person with the blonde hair, Jules, she's a little promiscuous. She's talking about sex a little bit. And then Holden, who's holding the football. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Holding the football. He comes in and he's very nice. There's some awkward moments there, and they're all getting ready to go in the RV.
Yeah, but we also get the little moment, Eric, which is important, where we see Thor just isn't the athlete jock, is he?
No, Thor is not. He's very smart.
He's even telling Dana the book she should read about economics.
Yes. Yeah, he's not at all like, hey, yo, football.
Then we're also introduced to Marty, just a great character, a great creation. He pulls up in his car filled with pot smoke with it. What is that? An extended Yeti travel mug that disguises a bong? Is that what it is?
Yes, he's got a bong, but it is this giant thing. It doesn't look like your average bong. It just looks like a weird, like you said, a stretched out something like a telescope. And they say, you can't bring that. And he closes it up almost like magic, and it turns into a Yeti or a travel mug. And fun fact is that prop was $5,000 to make that prop.
Wow.
It was a workable bong / coffee mug, and it was $5,000 to make. And apparently this guy was playing Marty, who was really, really fun. Had to practice being stoned and rolling joints.
And even in this opening scene, Marty's going to be the character that's talking to us about the world and how things work, and a little bit of pot paranoia crossed with pot philosophy. So they're loading up in the van. Like you said, Jules is just, you're thinking she's just going to have sex at any moment.
Not the right term for me. I was anticipating, I don't want to say hoping, but it should be in here. It's a horror movie. It should have teenagers or college students bumping ugly. Yeah.
Well, you talk in a lot of our discussions about tropes, like you talked, right? Tropes. I think you say that's my term, but you talk about them.
Yeah, you come up with the big words. I just look at people in their underwear for some reason. Wow.
So they pull away, and we now see on top of the building there's somebody up there, a guy, he has an earpiece in as they're driving away.
Yeah.
And he says that the nest is empty.
What are you talking
about? He says
into
his headphone.
Right. Yeah, what are they talking about? I do want to point out there's so much in this movie, Art. I think this podcast could be a 7-hour podcast. But the stoner Marty, when he locks his door, the car doors, the windows are down. He locks the car door and checks the lock, but the windows are down. Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
Fun facts. There's too many in this movie. Too many great lines. Too many fun facts.
I mean, we could just quote Marty a lot in this movie.
I have quotes for you.
You have notes. I do too. But then you see this guy on top of the roof with a headset. And I remember my mind was saying, like, how is this connect? It does throw you a little bit the first time you're seeing it. You're not quite sure how this is going to connect. But anyways, they're on the road, and this is where we get Marty talking about society and being tracked by everything, which is interesting because we've just seen them being spied on by somebody. And Marty throws out, I think, one of the themes that's going to come back big at the end of the movie. Maybe the whole thing, the society, just needs to collapse, Marty says right there in the van.
He
right
does say that. Again, good writing. And going into this movie blind, great. And then seeing it again, even better, because now you're picking up on all these things, which is cool.
Yeah. And then, boom, we're back to the office, the office space. And we're introduced to a character that I wanted a little more out of in the writing. This I will say. There's a guard for one of the inner offices. It's like a vault. We see Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford going in there, and he's a young man, and he seems like military ready. He's calling them sir.
Yeah, and this character is underused throughout the movie. I'm not sure why. I know you would come up with some thing that you would make up why this guy's in the movie, because you find all these things about the movie where you're like, hey, Eric, when he puts the coffee cup back on, I'm like, what are you talking about? But now I see that we watch movies differently. But I didn't know why they had this guy in there. So
agree. As I just said, I thought there would be more to this guy. He would figure in the end a little more. I was mentally, even when I'm watching it for the first time, I'm mentally filing away, oh, he's the guy that's going to, at the end, do something. And so I have to track this guy. But now we're going to see the guard says, I'm ready to do what is necessary. So I thought that was a line that we're supposed to latch onto. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to meet, they pull up just like in all the movies, Eric. We're going to get, who are we going to get now?
Yes, they pull up to the old gas station with the old pumps. And then on the top, there's I think there's a rebel flag, like the Confederate flag. And they go to look around, and this creepy ass guy comes out with tobacco, spitting his tobacco. And he's warning them in a way not to go to this cabin in the woods that's supposed to go to. So this guy does mention something about, it was owned by the Buckners. At one point, he says. He doesn't have that accent, but I like it better. It's owned by the Buckners. He doesn't talk like that, but very creepy dude, right?
Yeah, and he has an official title within the organization.
Yes,
the Harbinger.
The Harbinger. But we don't know this right now. We just think, well, this is a
we
really
don't know.
Good guy. And he's kind of he's calling out a couple things. He calls Jules a whore, like a whore, and Chris. Thor, let's just call him Thor from now on. Thor wants to give him a beating, but they don't. And the Marty is coming up with all of these great lines. Oh my gosh. When he's
at the end, my favorite at the end, Marty tells him, well, good luck with your business. They're going to be bringing the railroad through. And he said, the streets are going to be paved with streets, with actual streets.
Yes, with actual street. Good luck on your business venture.
So Marty. So this guy is we see him in all these horror movies. I go back to what was the guy's name in Friday the 13th? The old guy. You're all gonna die.
Yeah,
he gets on his bicycle.
It's the famous. Yeah, oh boy, that guy.
That's the blood camp. And so they go off. They're like, creepy guy. We're seeing them travel up to the cabin, and they do a nice shot. And then we get the eagle comes in, a little hawk comes flying over, and mid-score, Erik, zap! The hawk just zap into something. We see some sort of grid. Are they like octagons or something?
Yeah.
And it's something, and it just, the feathers go everywhere and it just zaps. But I remember the audience jumping in that first screening I saw of it, because you just don't see that coming.
Good jump scare, because you don't expect it. The hawk is just flying, and you don't know what's going on. You go, what just happened? Yeah, and they're going through a tunnel. There's one of those rock tunnels that they're driving through to get to there in the RV. We call it an RV.
It's an RV. Yeah. And
so
they arrive at the cabin, and we know once they arrive at that cabin, we know what they're calling out here. It's right.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very Evil Dead. And in this one, they're doing these things on purpose.
Yes.
So Harbinger, standard Evil Dead cabin, which I love. That there's no way, especially Jules, would stay at that cabin. She'd say, you know what, no sex unless we're going to Motel 6 or something.
Yeah,
it is an unattractive looking building.
Yeah, and I pulled up just on my second watch through for this podcast. I pulled up the Evil Dead house just to look at it, and it is, like you said, it is almost exact. And they're shooting it the same, Erik. That low angle that Sam Raimi did in the Evil Dead, approaching it
bigger on the inside. Apparently, it's not that bad on the inside. It's kind of nice. It's like a New Hampshire, Vermont type of...
Even Jules comes in and says, this is cool.
Yeah. Got that wolf head on the wall. Doink, 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 doink.
Yes.
Wolf head.
Yeah. Well, I love the soundtrack, because Dana comes in first and she's looking around. And as the camera's following her around, the wolf head suddenly comes in, and faintly on the soundtrack, you hear, like a wolf howling, but very faint. And so they're all entering the cabin. Maybe this won't be so bad. And then we have here, one of my favorite parts of the movie is a little, I would call it almost like a little playlet on its own, where they're going into their rooms, and Holden goes into his room. And there's that creepy painting on the wall. It's great. I love that painting. Yeah. I don't know if it's a real painting that they found, but
it's a bunch of people. Yeah, a bunch of people killing someone else,
a ram or something.
Yeah, viciously. And it's one of those paintings that looks like it was painted by someone who didn't quite know what they were doing in 1860 or something. That's what it looks like. And it's big. It's a big painting.
Yeah, and it has a eerie guy off in the distance with a cane leaning. Yeah. It's great. And so Holden, I love, is like, no way I'm having this up in the room.
Yeah.
So he takes it down, and when he looks up, it's Dana's staring at us.
What?
Now, the way they execute that shot is great, because when he comes back out, it looks like Dana's there standing in front of him with almost like a vacant look on her face.
Yes.
Like almost like she's possessed or something. And it takes us and Holden a second to realize it's a mirror, and she can't see him, but he can totally see her.
Yes. And of course, the first thing you do when you check into your cabin in the woods is you look in the mirror for quite some time. And then you decide it's time to change your clothes. No, probably because they're planning on going swimming. But she starts to undo a few buttons on her blouse there.
And it's great. Holden's doing a good job here. We can see the total mental gymnastics going on in his head in just the brief few seconds as he's watching this. And then when she starts unbuttoning, and nice direction. He steps out of the frame, and then he slides back in for just a second. And it's great visual comedy. And then he goes to explain to stop this and explain.
He even knocks on the wall. He's like, "Hold up!"
Yes,
and then comes around.
Yeah.
And then he shows her the mirror, and he asks if she wants to switch rooms, because he's showing that he's a nice guy. They're all fairly, they're not unlikable, any of them. They don't say anything that's really unlikable. So I thought that was cool. But the mirror thing, what is that all about? We're wondering too.
The mirror, then So now she's in the room. And he goes in the room, and I guess he thought that he wasn't thinking, or was he? I don't know. He takes his shirt off, and she realizes she can see him.
Yes.
And she's kind of taking it in. She likes it a little bit, I think. But then he starts to go down, and you realize he's going to be taking his pants off. And that's when she's like, oh boy, I can't look at that. And she takes the painting and puts it back up. Now, this is where I just like all this, Erik, because I think there's a whole thing here about voyeurism, but also how we go to the movies and we're expecting certain things. We're expecting female nudity. You and I talk about that a lot, not just for the podcast. You and I talk a lot about female nudity.
Probably, we shouldn't stay our off-camera conversations.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's all it's nature. I will point out that the guy, I spent some time looking at him as well, because he was he's ripped. He was in good shape.
So the idea that, okay, we're expecting to see, like we said, she's in her panties when the movie opens back at her apartment, and we're seeing this. So we're like, okay, the horror movie, she's going to be undressing. He's going to watch her. But then it's reversed. And they're showing us, the male nudity, but also what they're introducing is who's watching who has power from watching, because what happens is, if you notice, she's like, nope, not doing this, puts up the picture, and then she's looking at that horrible painting. So she says, nope, she puts up a blanket over it. As she's doing it, pulls back, and we're in the control room watching her on a video doing this. So she's being watched. So what I liked about the scene, Erik, is there's like 4 levels of we're watching here. And then also this whole movie is about tropes. We know the tropes, you and I, we've seen things before. So how are they going to be able to play with us on that level? So I just liked that whole interaction, that whole little scene. Sorry to go on about it so much, but I just thought it was a really interesting thing.
You love tropes, Art.
I love everything about them.
You love tropes. And Dr. Pepper, apparently, because you were in a Dr. Pepper show.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, wow. That's that's what I wrote in the notes, because I did take notes for this. Normally, I don't take notes for movies, but all right, thank you for that. So they're being watched from every angle. And so now that the people in the suits in the office, they're involved with this somehow. This is something that they're doing somehow.
Yes,
I like that.
Yes, this is the first where we're like, oh, the office is directly watching them, and this is also where we learn the chem people, what the chem people do. We are introduced. The chem person comes in, and she's explaining to them, oh, we put something in her hair dye, Jules' hair dye. We see Jules on the camera. She's looking at herself in the mirror with that blonde hair. And the chem department is we put it in the hair dye. It's slow acting, and it gets into her system through there. So
and you don't know what. And now you know that the people are really involved with this group of college students. What are they putting in her hair, and why? And why are they watching them? The next scene is the phone call?
The call comes in. A call comes in, and nobody wants to take this call. It's nobody wants to take it, but the guy who's transferring the call, probably the intern that we meet a little later, is transferring the call, is like, he needs to talk. And so Bradley Whitford takes the call on speakerphone, and it's the Harbinger, the guy from the gas station we just met.
Yes, and they're treating it like, oh no, oh boy, it's this guy. So they have it on speakerphone just in case he says something interesting, and he does. He's very serious.
He's very serious. He is like the actor in a show where they're really into it, or they don't want to give up playing. They don't want to give up pretending they're British, even when you go out to dinner after the show.
Oh man,
right? It's that type. It's that type of a person.
Yeah. Yes, Art. Yes. Yes, I've had that. That fun fact that happened to me. Wouldn't stop. I'm like, you're not British, right? No, I'm not. But this guy's talking like the Harbinger. I don't remember what he was saying, but it was all like
he's in the pocket. He is.
Yeah.
He's in it.
The souls have taken the journey.
The lambs are going to the slaughter.
Yes, lambs to the slaughter.
Like that. And he starts to realize that's the great when he breaks a little bit, and he's like,
Yes.
"Hey, what am I on speakerphone?"
Like, no, what? Oh, no, you're not.
And they continue, and then they're all laughing. Then we cut to them, so we're back at the cabin just for a brief little thing. Swimming, they're doing all the lake stuff. So he's pushing in the lake, and they're having fun at the cabin. And then we cut from there. We see all their pictures, the pictures of our young people across the screen, and betting is starting.
Yes, they're taking bets now.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what they're betting on because they don't really say. Like, one guy comes up and goes, "Hey, here's my bet," and then one of them goes, "No, you can't have that. Was it maintenance? Maintenance chose that. Oh, they chose it every year. Well, the maintenance, they have no. I forget what he says. Like, maintenance, they don't have any.
They wouldn't be in maintenance if
they wouldn't be in maintenance. Fun line.
And the intern is all unsure about what he wants to do. And another one of my favorite lines, Bradley Whitford, and I wonder if it was improvised, where he says, "More than anything, I just want this moment to end."
Yes.
Talking to the intern.
I had that line.
They give the intern the Argyle sweater. Richard Jenkins sort of needles Bradley Whitford and says, like, Aquaman, like Lisa didn't pick Aquaman or something, and so we don't know what that is yet. Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he's whipping him for something that he picks.
Yeah. And the young security guard doesn't want to bet.
Nope.
This is where I thought they're sort of building things into this character. It makes you feel like he's going to do something later. And the woman from the chem department is like, everybody's just trying to blow off some steam. This is like office stuff,
Yeah, for some reason, because it's a serious job, they need to have this betting, whatever they're betting on. Oh, but
yeah.
Yes, the blowing off steam. And then she also puts money in.
Mm-hmm. And Bradley Whitford brings up, because he's confused, the young security guard. So you're betting on something, but you control the outcome. You're controlling all this, but you're betting. And this is where Bradley Whitford says, but they have to make choices. They have to choose something. And the line he says is, if they don't transgress, they can't be punished.
Yes.
That's what he says.
And so confusing until you watch it again, where these lines have so much more weight, and you enjoy the line so much more when you watch it again. But right now,
and I like this transition. I like this transition here. Boom. Get this party started. We see the cabin, they're having the party, and we cut back to the office, and they're all having a party too. They're all like, they've got the music, they're dancing like at the control board. And then we're back and we start to have truth or dare here, Eric.
Yes. Yeah. And Jules is acting up a little bit. Like she's a little frisky and kind of drunk, and they do truth or dare. And Marty, the stoner, is like, "I dare you." I'm trying to do his voice. "I dare you to kiss that moose on the wall." And it's the wolf, which I think is so funny. He says, "I dare you to kiss that moose on the wall." And she says, "Yes." And apparently the actor did this scene a few times. For some reason, they were uncomfortable doing it. But they go up to the wolf. And I just love it because it's from the wolf's point of view. Mm-hmm. And Jules is there. And she's like, "Oh, what, me? Are you talking to me? Oh." And she says something about being a big bad wolf. And she goes, I think the line is, no need to huff and puff. I'll let you come in."
Now, the reason I want to bring that up, this would be in any horror movie kind of a standout scene that you would remember. The way it's filmed, the way it's conceived, you would always remember, even if it was a crappy horror film, right? You would remember that scene where the girl made out with the wolf head. And also, I read a little bit, Eric, about this scene too. And is it true? I couldn't see confirmation. I only read it in one place that they put sugar on the tongue of the wolf to make it more pleasant for her to do that, because it was kind of icky for her to make out with it as it is. So they kind of put something on the tongue.
Right. That's what I read too. And again, if we read it, it must be true. But they put powdered sugar. On the tongue, which was a latex tongue, and because she's basically French kissing the wolf, which was
because her tongue is going all over the teeth and it's but
we're spending
what
a lot
I want
of time on this scene.
No, but this is important because remember, we've just brought up Bradley Whitford has just. God, I'm gonna clip that video of you licking the camera, Erik.
What, me too?
It's going out on social media. We just heard Bradley Whitford say transgression. He brought up the idea of transgression. So now we're having this scene with a transgression.
Mm-hmm.
And then wha-bam, the cellar, like in the movie.
Yes. It's the cellar door, and just like the Evil Dead, it's that kind of thing, a trap door in the middle of the floor, but it doesn't creak open. It pops open like poltergeist style. Bam! Like that. So that just doesn't happen. You're like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's in the cellar?
And so that. Conveniently they're playing Truth or Dare, so it's like go down in the cellar, Dana, right? Like is her dare. They're sort of daring her to go down there. She goes down there with the flashlight.
Yep, and she does. They all go down the cellar.
Erik, when you first saw this movie, you must have loved what you're seeing down in this cellar, right? This is great.
Yes, I didn't. This movie is a pause and watch movie. So once you've seen the movie, don't pause it while you're watching it. But once you've seen the movie, then you go back, and there's several scenes in this movie is so good where you pause to see all the stuff that your mind almost can't take in, because this is all in the cellar. It's almost like an antique shop of curiosities. Even the ceiling has lights on it, like strip lighting. And you think, well, why is there all the strip lighting down there? And they're all going over, looking at these objects. And my eyes are darting all about, because there's so many cool things down there that have sort of been in a horror movie before.
Yes.
You're thinking, wait, that reminds me of this. That reminds me of that.
They do a great job in this movie of lovingly ripping off other things in an artistic way. They find a way to create objects that your mind is clearly going to associate with other things, but they don't actually look like those other things. A good example to center the discussion here is there's like an orb that has mechanics on it, and it brings up the Hellraiser cube, right? Right away, you're thinking it's something like that. So that will be an example.
Yeah, and then there's a necklace. There's a bride's outfit. There's creepy books. There's a ballerina. You know, you open that thing. It's like little ballerina. And what I love about the stoner Marty is Marty's like, no, we shouldn't be. You know, why are we doing this, touching this stuff, or something like that?
And I will note when Marty's saying that, when Marty's standing in the thing, behind Marty over his shoulder is film reels. There's a bunch of film reels behind him, which I thought was interesting that they chose to do that.
Another great line where he has so many great lines in this movie. He goes, guys, I'm not sure it's awesome to be down here.
Yeah,
but they're all getting drawn in, right? They're getting
and
drawn in.
I will note, Chris Hemsworth, Kurt, the character Kurt, picks up a conch shell, and he's looking at it, and he's trying to see if you blow into it, it'll make a sound, but it's not really making a sound. This is really important for what we're going to learn later. Yep. And we just see porcelain masks. We see those,
which remind you of something. They remind you of like the killers that what You're Next, or another one with
the strangers. The strangers.
It reminds you of that. Like, what is that? And there's like a clown thing down there,
and also
these.
Also, I thought for a second that did we see the fortune teller from Big? The fortune teller machine.
There is a fortune teller machine in there. Yes.
Yeah.
In the background. Yeah.
And so they're doing all this, but Dana has found an artifact that she's interested in, and she starts reading from.
Yeah, which I thought was weird. I guess they put her in the book reading. Not really, but she starts looking at this book. But now everybody in the office is kind of watching all of this happening because there's a bunch of cameras down there.
Yep. It seems like a diary of a prairie time girl. The Buckner, is it the Buckners? Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
The Buckners.
The Buckners, yeah.
And it's stuff like Daddy's gonna, the harvest moon and the dark moon, and it's all religious, and it reminds me of creepy, religious, really weird. And then there's Latin. There's a Latin phrase.
Yes. Well, what I love about that scene was they're all touching these things. So they've all picked one thing. Even Marty's like looking at the reel. And then what snaps them out of it is she says, guys, listen to this. And so they all stop. So they pick, technically, the book has been chosen out of all these artifacts down there. And yeah, reading Latin. You don't read art. You don't read aloud Latin in a scary book. I mean, this book is talking about, like,
Erik, you're the Marty here, because that's what Marty said. He literally says, don't read the Latin. And then what's on the soundtrack? What do we hear? Which Marty seems to hear, but nobody else seems to hear. Oh, there's a whisper.
Yes. Yes.
Read
yes. Yes. When you watch this movie with subtitles, that's where you can pick up stuff that you might miss as well. Because that's how I knew there was whispering going on.
Now, I don't think I picked that up when I first saw it either, but I definitely on these rewatches saw that. And you see Marty looking around when that comes on the soundtrack, but they don't. Because we should just reemphasize for people who maybe haven't watched the movie, Marty is like stoned through this whole movie. So you have to kind of remember that Marty's always got a bong, always, so it is playing with this weird trope of the guy who's stoned seems to actually be the one who's logical in these situations. He's saying the truth. So they read the Latin, right? And then outside, we cut to outside. And
yes, and this is where this is at the 30-minute mark-ish. It's like 38 minutes. So they're following that formula of 30 minutes. So now we're getting some horror because out of the ground come these zombie. They were like I guess redneck would be the appropriate term, but they're not redneck zombies. No, we'll find out later. They are the Buckners coming back to life. And apparently the Buckners are a family of sadistic, religious, backwoods people that use pain as a religion, kind of like pain and suffering and death as a religion. So they're coming out of the ground.
Yes, we see. How many of them are there? Are there 3 or are there 4? I can't remember. There's a young girl. There's
the dad, and then there's 2 others that we don't really. It's mostly the dad. I'm assuming it's the dad zombie.
Well, and I know Judith Buckner. We get her name later. She's the mom. Maybe.
Yeah. Judith Buckner got her stomach filled with hot coals. I don't know if is she coming back, but the girl looks like Little House on the Prairie zombie. That's what she looks like. She's got one arm. Yeah.
And then we cut back to the office, and we see Maintenance 1, Erik.
Maintenance 1, because they picked the zombies. And now you see this. Here's another moment to pause, Art, in the movie, is if you pause on that board, which I imagine hundreds of thousands of people have done, you pause it, and you can read all of the monster creatures that they could possibly be betting on. And there's so many cool ones. There's typical ones like werewolf, vampire. Then there's things like sexy vampires. They didn't pick that one. And then it says like something ballerina, angry, what is it? Angry molesting tree.
And some of them, if you look real quickly, even when you first see the movie, you're realizing some of them are connected to these objects that we saw in the basement.
Yes.
That we were seeing. So that's what you're catching on to kind of quickly. Yeah. So, and we also, it's a good thing you delineated, Eric, between vampire and sexy vampire, because we learned there are differences between things, because one woman is mad because she picked zombies. So she thought she would have won.
Yeah, she picked redneck zombies, and they clearly pointed out, they're like, no. That's not, redneck zombies are different. These are the Buckners.
Yeah. Well, no, so, redneck zombie torture family was very specific. Yes. You have to pick a very specific thing in order for it to count.
Redneck zombie torture family. Yep. There's giant snake. There's a dragon bat. So many things. And one that, I don't know if you saw this one or trivia tells you all about it, but one of them just says Kevin.
I didn't notice that.
Kevin. Yeah.
Do we now, not to give it away, because we'll get there, Eric, do we get where you think you saw Kevin near the end? Do you maybe do we see what Kevin is?
I know what Kevin is.
Oh, okay. But let's get to it.
You don't ever see Kevin.
Oh, okay.
But there's so many different things on there. So the Buckners won.
Yeah, and so who do you call it is kind of upset though? Bradley Whitford. He's bummed.
Yeah, he's very upset. He's sad.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get his pick.
Which is,
well, specifically, I believe it's a merman.
Yes.
Like, my first thought is, if he picked merman, how is a mer person going to kill all these people in the woods? But do they force them? They must force them to go to the lake or something. I don't know. But the line that I like is he goes, yeah, I know you didn't get your pick, but mermaids are terrifying and the cleanup is a nightmare.
And when you're first seeing the movie, you're thinking, oh, well, that's just funny because you're, like you said, you're picturing what you have in your head is what this would be.
Yeah, you don't. But again, watching it once more, you love these lines so much more. You see it again, different movie, love it.
And he's also very upset because, of course, Chris Hemsworth he said he had the conch shell in his hands. Hands. And we start to realize, these are all connected to that as we're going on.
Yeah, you apparently summon these, whatever entity it is, with the artifact.
So the security guard is talking to the chemist over there, the woman from the chem department, and he's a little confused. All these things on the screen. He said, it's like they're out of our nightmares. And she says, no, these are what our nightmares are from. These things exist on sort of some other level. And he even says, the security guard, oh God, all this stuff, monsters, magic, gods, so we're getting the feeling now something bigger is going on here than just this office complex. But of course it's an office. So the woman says, you get used to it. She says to him.
And I think he says, I don't think you should.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, you get used to it. And he's like, well, I don't think you should get used to that.
Yeah. And on the screen, before we're going to cut back to the cabin here, we see a little video of what's going on in Kyoto, Japan.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird things on the televisions. There's different places and you don't know what's going on, but it looks like horror movies are going on almost. There's a monster, and then there's in Japan there's some entity or something, right?
Things are burning in Japan. Yeah. It looks like the Ring girl sort of, and she's levitating in a classroom, and all the girls in the classroom are trying to get out of the classroom at the door, and so it looks very dire for them. Yes. And then this is calling back to us because one of the TVs is Stockholm. And there's a fire or something's going on in Stockholm. And we're like, Stockholm, Japan, that calls back to what they said earlier in the movie. So we're seeing that. So we cut back to the cabin and Marty is starting to notice that things are not right. His little paranoia is coming in.
He's mentioning, he's like, well, since when Jules is acting like basically kind of slutty. And he says, and Thor, not his name, Kurt, it's Kurt actually. Kurt's a smart guy. He's acting like he's an idiot. He's stupid right now. So very, very interesting. And of course, they're giving us what we want here too, because our wolf kissing friend is not done being sexy. So she starts doing a dance in front of the fireplace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Dana and Holden are having a little moment on the couch too.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And so Kurt and Jules, our athlete and our sexy woman, they leave. They go out. They're gonna head out. Maybe
to what? All right. What are they? Why? Where are they going?
What did you catch where they were going? I think they were going down to the.
They were going to the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I think they were going to. They're going to have.
I didn't write it down. Oh,
they're going to have sex. They're going to have sex. Sexy
I love that that's on your printed out notes.
Printed out notes. They're going to have sexy time in the woods at night.
And so
my first thought is mosquitoes. That's what I was thinking. Like, why would you go out there? Let's go upstairs.
And so Dana and Holden are back there. They're having a little thing, and Marty he needs to go out and get some fresh air, and he walks by, and this is another great line. The diary.
I think I have
that. They read in the basement. Yes. The girl's prairie diary was kind of like Daddy had his husband bulge for hers. And so Marty walks by Dana and Holden, and he says, Holden's got a husband bulge. And he walks out and he leaves. He's out relieving himself. I don't know why he had to leave the house to do that, but he's out there. And behind him in the background, you can see the movement. It's not in focus, but you sort of see the shapes moving behind him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But who cares about that? Because the hot couple is going off into the woods to get that.
That's right.
Basically.
Yeah.
But here's where you see that the people in the office or whatever that place is are really controlling the situation here.
Yeah. Well, it's a great cut too, Eric, because as they go out there and things are getting a little, we know, like you said, you put in your notes, we know what's going to happen there. They cut to the office and they're all standing there. Everybody's standing there silent, just looking at the screen.
Yeah. There's a big TV. Yeah. Like a Jumbotron.
So they're watching Kurt and Jules out there in the woods, but Jules is still
she's a little cold, so they want to go back. But what I love about this scene is it's like they're on a movie set, or the Truman. It reminds me of the Truman Show a little bit because they start altering the environment. They start pumping pheromones out from the ground to make them like. Oh, I changed my mind. I think, did they raise the temperature?
Yes, they raised the temperature. Yep.
Yes. And then they lit up the forests. Like, this is where you should have sex.
Yes, the clearing, they like put up the lights, so the clearing kind of lights up. And so they start doing it in the clearing, and this is the Buckner family's going to come in and...
Oh, but Art, you just can't skip over this part.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Okay.
I'm sorry. This is an R-rated movie, and we have to point out, so she's sitting on top of him, and she's starting to take her shirt off, and I forget what his name is. The actor goes, okay, let's see some boobies.
Yes.
And I think that's perfect because anyone watching a horror film, if they're watching this, they're thinking, oh, we're going to see some boobies. And the new guy, the military new guy is like, well, why? And they pointed out that, no, some of these things are necessary. Like there has to be, like you almost have to see her breasts for this to
it's all in the system. And this is where even the first time through where I'm now caught on to what's going on. It's clearly also a satire on just the Hollywood making movies and making horror movies and what you need to, what there needs to be this, right? Mm-hmm. There has to be this. We have to have an actress naked in the opening shot, or we have to see boobs at least once in the movie. And that's coming from the corporate side. And you're starting to see that satire also, right, Eric, coming into place.
And another favorite bit about this is there's a bunch of people watching the screen. And when she decides first that maybe they should go inside, they're all watching it and they're all like, oh, no, like, oh, rip off. It was funny.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the Buckners come in. She her hand goes in the grass. Yeah. And we can anticipate it coming at this point.
Yeah.
Her hand is all lit up in the moonlight, all ready for a big thing to come stabbing right through her hand.
Yes, and this is where the movie turns like horror movie.
Oh yeah.
It's not funny at all. And it's the big old Buckner, and he definitely looks like he came out of the ground. He's all drippy and gross and zombie, and he's got a bunch of weapons apparently, but his favorite weapon, I guess, is a big old bear trap on a chain. It's a big old bear trap. You know, the perfect weapon, a bear trap on a chain.
Well, especially if somebody's trying to run away, Eric. You can just throw that at their back. Boom, you got them, and you can just pull them right towards you.
Yes, and that's what he does with Jules.
Mm-hmm.
And then right in front of her boyfriend.
Ooh, it's a little like, I mean, it reminded me of stuff that goes on in like, we didn't see it as graphically, but those movies like The Terrifier, you know, and those things, this kind of reminded me of that. I had forgotten this till this rewatch, but he pulls out a saw. A
tree saw.
One of those old tree saw with those gnarly teeth in it. Yeah. Whoa. And right on her neck and just sawing the head off. And that, it like you said, it's genuinely scary.
You also care for this person, so you don't want this person to die.
No.
She was still very likable, and you could see how they're being controlled. So you liked it even less that this person just got killed. And so the boyfriend's got to run away.
And then back at the office, they pull a big lever. Bradley Whitford, he's kind of resigned when he does it. His facial expression looks like we feel about Jules. Like he's usually the wisecracker through all of this, but even he is kind of solemn when he pulls that. He pulls a big, huge mechanical lever, and we see those things, like I told you, almost like the Lionsgate logo at the beginning, these things turning, and what it ends up producing is this liquid comes out, and it starts filling these an engraving of a person, like a woman.
Yeah, and it looks like one of those, all I could think of was it looks like the a birthing center logo where the people, they don't have hands, they just got little they have arms with no hands. They're very simple drawings. There's no face, and it's filling up with what seems to be blood. Yes, but I do want to point out this because it's a serious moment where they've been joking, and they watch this woman get killed, and they're not like, yeah, excellent. No. They're very kind of, and the other guy grabs this necklace with a symbol on it, and he kisses the symbol, and he goes, "We offer in humility and fear for the blessed peace of your eternal slumber as it ever was." And you're like, what? But he was very serious, and he kissed this little thing that I saw later in the movie, which I'll point out if you didn't.
Okay, good. Because all I had in my notes was I had Jenkins praise, and so I forgot what what that was. So I'm glad you caught that.
Guess what, Art? I remembered it. I don't have
that's great.
I don't have any notes.
Erik is holding up a tome, like basically like Eric's holding up his zombie redneck prairie diary.
Yes, I have to keep up with you with your goddamn noticing of art forms in the movie. Like, did you notice how this and that? I'm like, what are you talking about? There was just, I was paying attention to the sex scene, and that
so
was
we think Marty is peeing, and we see the shapes behind him. We think he's going to get killed, but Kurt comes out. So Kurt's still alive at this point. Our athlete, our jock, and he's being chased by the hillbillies as well. So they're gonna run into the house, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's like, she's gone, Jules is gone, and they don't believe him. So they're all panicking at this point. And so Dana,
yep. Yeah. Dana wants to go out.
The door. Yeah, and there's a Buckner right there.
Oh yeah.
He throws the severed head of Jules.
And Dana catches it in her hands, right? And she looks right at the head, like, and big.
And I noticed it's a good severed head. It looks very, very real and well done. Mm-hmm. I hope the actor got to keep it because it was good.
And then they at this point do they run into the separate rooms? They sort of scatter and they run into the rooms.
Yes. That the Thor says, "We got to stay together." I keep doing it because I keep thinking he has an Australian accent. We got to stay together, but he doesn't. And then they pump some stuff into the room to make them rethink it. And then everybody's like, "We should split up."
Yeah,
The
old joke.
Yeah,
the old joke because they can't do that.
It's a trope.
It is the trope. So they do that thing in horror movies that we all roll our eyes at. They separate and they run and they're in separate rooms. And it seems like the doors lock behind them when they go in those rooms, I think.
Yes.
Right.
Well, they actually say, all right, lock the doors. And they're able to control a lot from the control room.
But this is Marty here is getting all freaked out in the room. And this is you talked about like half hour into the movie. We're about in the halfway point of the movie here, right? And Marty discovers a lamp knocks over. He discovers the listening device and he's pulling it up through the side of the wall. So to me, halfway point of a movie, the midpoint is you're through the looking glass or something changes that alters it and starts to make the movie a different story. And this is the worlds are connecting now. Marty is on to something here. It's not just his paranoia.
Yes, because I think it was a little earlier than this, but he was also in his room and he heard, "Go for a walk. Go for a walk." He's like, "I heard somebody say go for a walk." And he says, "I think I'll go for a walk." But now he finds the camera. Yeah, and he's looking at it. And we cut to the control room where they're watching him and they're starting to panic a little bit.
They're like, "Oh, that's not good. That's not, that's not supposed to happen." And they're about to do something drastic. But Richard Jenkins calls over to the office guy and says, "Hold on. We don't have to worry. Judith Buckner is going to come in and save the day. She's on her way." And we see Judith is limping towards the window of Marty's room. So we're thinking Judith is going to come in and save the day. Because now we're starting, what's great about this movie, and I'm going to talk about it in a few minutes with something that happens. Now we're invested in two worlds, right? We're starting to be invested in our cabin people that we really like. And we're starting to be invested in the mission of this office, which we still don't completely understand. So Judith Buckner comes in, crash, she pulls him out the window, and he comes up with his extendable bong, Eric. It's like a blackjack, that somebody comes up, and it extends, and he's fighting back. And we're like, oh, Marty's not just the pothead. We're starting to learn Marty's kind of resourceful in his haze as well.
I don't know if this is where they pointed out, but they pointed out that, how they put the dye, the stuff in the hair dye, and they did other things too. So apparently they laced his pot.
Yes.
And he was supposed to be stoned out of his mind, but he's not.
Something is happening chemically, which Eric pointed out earlier. Remember, chem ruined things in 1998, and they're setting that up, and the chem people are kind of screwing up here. So he's supposed to be weeded out, and the pod is actually somehow making him more lucid in some ways, in some respects.
And this is there's so many things in this art it's so much to talk about, but the chem thing is a callback to a movie called The Faculty, because and The Faculty is where people were getting taken over by alien entities, and they used some drug that this kid was selling, and it kills the aliens and snaps you back. So the reference is technically that was one of the things that was happening a while ago that almost screwed things up.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was an interesting because I like The Faculty. It's a fun other horror movie.
Mm-hmm. And so then Marty, I'm sad at this point. I was like, no, because Marty gets stabbed in the back. Right in the back, there's like a knife in his back. So watching this movie now in subsequent times, I'm like, oh, they're really cheating here. I have to say, I love the movie, but I'm like, they're cheating here because they want us to think, Marty is dead here, right? They stab him in the back and drag him. It's actually quite an intense scene. He's screaming for help, and she drags him down into a hole in the ground, and we see blood spurt up over the top of up over the top. Yeah. So we're thinking
technically that's a kill. That's a kill in a movie. You don't see the body, but the blood spurt That to me is a kill. And then what do? They at the control room, they pull another lever.
They do. They pull the lever and it fills up another engraving, like you said. This one, we're starting to catch on to these engravings now.
This one.
What one did this have?
This one is this one's almost like a tarot card of the Fool. So it's holding out, I think it's cup or something, yeah. So, and also we'll point out that an earthquake happens at this point for some reason. The whole place shakes and they're like, whoa, whoa, at the control center. Like, what's that? What's going on?
And then
so a little foreshadowing or something. Zombie, redneck, blah, blah, blah. I think I said before that they were the Buckners, but they're actually listed as like zombie, redneck, something.
Torture family, I think.
Torture family, yeah. The family that tortures together stays together.
Correct. Yeah. And they're relentless. They're pretty relentless people, as we'll see.
Oh my God. Yeah. They are pretty creepy. They're very creepy. I think I said before, they're very creepy, well done, goopy, drippy, redneck zombies.
And hard to kill, as we're going to see now, because inside the house, Dana's found her way down into a trap door in the room she's in. She goes down there, and next thing we know, coming through up top is one of the Buckners is coming down, trying to get her. He's hanging upside down, and she stabs him, Erik, with something. She stabs the Buckner right in the eye or the face.
Yeah, she stabs him right in the face with a crowbar. I think it's a crowbar, and I think she says something like, "You like pain? How about this for fucking pain?" or something like that.
She's referencing the diary.
Yes. Yeah, in her time of terror.
But as we know, he's technically a zombie, so she turns around, eye opens immediately, right?
Yeah.
And he's thrashing around, and she just does she stab him like 100 times in the chest?
You know, when you rewatch it a billion times like I do, you start to really pick up on this stuff. They have a lot of buttons up there. Way too many buttons, I think, for every single contingency, which, you know, when we start talking about how much we like the movie, I will bring up about their cockiness about this whole thing.
So then Kurt busts it, our athlete, and they're going to hightail it out of there. So they go out to get in the RV. They're loading up that they're going to drive out. And we think, okay, they're getting away from the Buckners. But what's on the side of the RV, do we notice before they pull away?
Dun, 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 dun. A unicorn.
No. A bloody handprint is by the door. Yes.
Yes, that's right. Because in every horror movie, we see something that the people being attacked don't see. So this is what we're seeing. It's like, uh-oh.
It's a pretty prominent bloody handprint, I have to say, because you can even see it in the dark, in the moonlight.
Yeah, it's that glow-in-the-dark possible zombie blood. Redneck zombie blood.
And they're taking off, and they're driving, trying to make their way out of there. And there they are. They're at the little thing we saw before. It's like a hairpin turn around a deep canyon into the tunnel, right? So they're heading for the tunnel. And back in the office, somebody realizes they haven't collapsed the tunnel. They're supposed to collapse the tunnel, I think, at some point in the plan.
Yes.
And
is she third in charge? Is she from Chem? I forget, but she's the one who's always saying to the guys, you know, don't celebrate now. Don't do this. And then she notices that it's not, for some reason, they have to blow the tunnel so they can't get out.
Yeah. And this is where I really delighted in this. As I said, we're sort of invested in two worlds now. We're invested in our people in the cabin, but we're also sort of invested in these people in the office and their mission, because now Richard Jenkins has to run to the electrical department or the demolition department or wherever through this complex to manually, they've got to manually blow the bridge. And it reminded me, Erik, for those of you, Erik and I's age, and maybe those of you like classic cinema, it kind of reminded me of broadcast news when the woman had to bring the tape. Remember, it was going on air in the movie Broadcast News, and she's running and she's going under file cabinets and she's pushing people out of the way so they can get the tape there for the live airing of the news. And it just reminded me of that. He's pushing people out of the way in the hallway. He's sliding around corners because he has to get there.
Make a hole, everybody. What does he do? He hot wires it because it doesn't work. He has to hot wire the explosion.
And did you catch? I can't remember what the electrical people said when he came in. I didn't catch it or write it down. They said something about an excuse as to why they hadn't done it yet.
Yeah, it was something about they didn't get the order to do it or something, and then for some reason when they went to do it, nothing happened. So
yeah,
I watched that scene again because I didn't know. I'm still not sure. There's a few things I'm not sure about. Yeah,
that's why I asked, because I was like you're saying, I was like, okay, so they didn't do it because nobody gave the order. So when he first said that, I heard that. And I thought we're supposed to think, oh, they're up there celebrating with tequila and doing all this, and they forgot to do this. But then it seems like they added that it's also a mechanical problem that he has to fix. So they're kind of doing this while they're intercutting with the van. The RV is getting closer to the tunnel. It's actually in the tunnel.
It's in the tunnel.
And he clicks the spark and it starts collapsing. It's actually a well done scene. Impossible stuff. He throws it in reverse. He's backing an RV about 60 miles an hour through a tunnel where there seems like there's only enough space for the RV in the tunnel. And he's going backwards.
All right, it's Thor operating an RV.
It is Thor. Yeah. I have to remember that.
Great explosion. And now that they're trapped, now they know that they can't go through the tunnel. And then one guy, I think when they cut back to the office, I say the office, but then I say control room. The control room, I think one guy says, remember when you could just throw a girl in a volcano? Just job's so tough now.
Yeah,
they have nowhere to go. And I think this is when Thor, I think I read somewhere, this scene is where I think it was the director said to him, you're going to be a star, buddy. Like this scene.
Okay.
He was very heroic in this scene, this next scene.
Well, they pull up, they get out of the tunnel. The smoke is coming out, all the collapse. And we remember, we've seen a few shots of this. There's a dirt bike attached to the back of the RV that they brought. I guess he was going to go dirt bike riding when he got there, but we've noticed it. So it's not coming out of nowhere.
Nope.
And he's going to make a jump. He's going to jump that canyon, which he says he's done it before. And I looked at it and I was like, I really find that hard to believe.
Yeah, there's no ramp. He doesn't have a helmet. I thought, wow, he really does this a lot then if he's that confident. So I think he said, I've jumped bigger. And always that little Australian accent seems to be coming out there a little bit.
Yes.
There's a big scene. I think what does he say? He says he's going to bring back
everybody. Like he's going to, the police, I'm going to bring,
fucking guns.
And he gets on it and he does a big wind up and he drives. Now, I will say, when I first saw this in the movie, I had forgot what we had seen earlier and I don't think I had processed it. So I did not see what's going to be coming now. He takes off and he does the jump. He hits the edge. He's flying. And you're like, the way they shoot the angle, you're like, okay, he's way up in the air. It doesn't make any sense that he can do this, but he's up in the air. Yeah. But he's going to make it, right, Eric? He's going to make it over, right?
Well, technically, yes. I would say I was a little bit worried about the landing, but we didn't have to worry because remember the Hawk or the Falcon or whatever it was? He smashes right into that. It always reminds me of the Hunger Games, like the dome, that's the hidden dome in the Hunger Games. So he smashes into it and they don't relent because he just keeps falling down and smashing. And every time he hits it, there's like an electrical.
Yes. And it's disappearing into the darkness below. And he keeps hitting his head and then his feet. He's like flipping down the side of it. And it's going like all the way down. And it goes all the way down till you see the little splash in the water, like way down at the bottom. And and
it's a great, I guess this would be referred to as another jump scare because it's another one where you just didn't expect it.
Nope.
It was good. The two actors really reacted well because they were terrified seeing this happen. So I think when now they're getting into the RV to drive off because the scholar, I guess he would be the scholarly guy. He thinks he's trying to pep talk our final girl into what? No, we're going to make it out. But they got to control room, and this is one of my favorite things is that Japan is succeeding in defeating their monster, which I think is a hilarious scene because all of these little schoolgirls are gathered in a circle, holding hands, chanting, and the entity, which is like Ringu or any Japanese, long-haired entity, is in the middle, like, oh, there's some more sound for you. And the yay, which I think is great. The entity shrinks down and turns into a little frog.
The happy frog is what its subtitles tell us. It's the happy frog. Yeah. When I look back on it, this is an interesting time period to do this because at this point, and I think this might be the meta commentary they're doing in the movie too, is Japan and Asia had kind of in the early 2000s really come on strong on the horror scene with all those movies with The Ring and the Grudge, those types of movies. And so I think there's something in there where they're like the Swedes and the Japanese and the Americans as far as the horror. So I think this was kind of a meta commentary on that as well. So
yeah, and a lot of good horror movies in there. Art
and Bradley Whitford once again stealing the scene when he's yelling at the monitor that has the Japanese girls, and he's going, "Fuck you!" and he's so angry because they're having things go wrong here. We're feeling back in the control room. So it's not as easy as they thought.
There's still a lot of tension because when Japan succeeds, apparently, for some reason, all across the world, they're succeeding in defeating the monsters. Watching the movie many times I was thinking, well, if this happens a lot and there's defeating monsters happens a lot, then does the world believe in monsters then? Because they're showing a corpse of a big old monster in one of the shots. So I thought, so does the world know about this? Or I don't know.
Yeah, because we're meant to believe this happens every year. It's an annual thing. This happens. So we got
it's like Halloween. If Halloween was real, monsters are real.
So now Dana and Holden are taking off. Holden's driving, and Dana's starting to think like they're never going to let us go. Like, we can't get out of here. What? And Holden's plan is, well, we'll ditch the RV. We'll go through the woods. And she's freaking out a little bit. And he gives her a little speech telling her to stay calm.
Yep, he's driving the RV. Yeah, and then another great jump scare. Ram! Right through the back of the neck coming out his front was some other lethal weapon. And one of the Buckners, I think Dad Buckner is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was almost thinking one of them should be called Uncle Buckner. Get it? Uncle Buckner? Yeah, so
right off, they don't waste time, man. This RV goes right off the edge, crashes into the water. It's filmed really well, crashes, the water coming in through the cabin, through the windshield, I think. It's sinking. There's a creature in there. She gets out, and it's a beautiful shot of her swimming up towards the surface away from the RV as she's heading up to the surface. She gets up there and and she heads to the dock.
What they reveal now, technically it's over because apparently the virgin or the final girl, I guess is the way they're kind of playing this, doesn't have to die. She just has to suffer. Mm-hmm. And what I love about this scene is I forget which, the other guy, one of the main guys is drinking a beer and our bodyguard guy is like, wait, it's not over. And he says, oh yeah, as long as she suffered. And he goes, yeah, and she suffered. He's getting very serious. Like, I don't. And then everybody comes in and goes, tequila is my lady.
Yeah. And they're all going to celebrate again. And so she's on the dock. And they actually, what's interesting, the office, the control room, they're all partying. They don't seem to care anymore about her. I like this shot because we're seeing in the background on all those monitors, they're not paying attention, but we can see the guy comes up out of the thing, he gets her again, and she's going through a life or death struggle on the dock with this zombie.
Yes. Great scene, because calling it the Jumbotron, because there's 3 big screens. They're not paying attention. And that scene is so awesome because so much is going on. And then I think they're playing REO Speedwagon or some song. They're like, and I just thought, what a great thing is there's a horrific scene going on behind them. And they've just been through this so many times. They're like, no, we're good. We're good. So they're partying.
Yeah, because on the screens, we should be clear, like the zombie, the Buckner it has her by the neck and is lifting her up on the dock and strangling her. And that's what we're seeing behind all of them from like a bunch of different angles. We're watching this. And it is kind of horrifying about the carelessness or something, what it's trying to say there is interesting. I think it was just a very, very interesting moment.
Yes. Here's a watch the movie twice moment, because when you're watching this movie, you're not necessarily paying attention to the screens in the background because they're having so much conversation. But when you watch it again, now you can pay attention to the woman being brutally attacked by this guy. She's durable. She seems to be very durable.
Well, they do a move in this movie a couple of times. And she does it here again, where these people are really good at doing that thing of like, I'll just roll and the knife will come down next to me, and then I'll roll the other way and the knife will, and I'm like, yeah, that's, once in a movie, I'm okay with that. But like
another, I guess it's another trope. It's another trope where monsters or bad guys will throw you, and you're an average person and you slam on the ground and roll, and then you get right back up. And I have 2 teenagers. One of them is a fairly rough boy, Phoenix. And when we play around and he throws me and he tosses me to the ground, I need a timeout. I'm like, okay, wait a second. So I always think it's funny that when you get thrown across the room, you get right back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but it's a great scene. Then what happens, Art? They're all celebrating. What happens?
Well, we learn that Marty's still alive.
How do we learn that? Because of the red phone. There's a red phone that rings.
That's correct. And it's that thing of like the phone rings and everybody stops and, got to look at the phone.
Yeah.
We know it's important because it's a red
phone.
It's a red phone. And so he goes over, he picks it up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so we don't know as the audience, I think, exactly what's happening. He's getting bad news that something has gone wrong. He's saying like, well, that's impossible.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, which one?
Yes, that's what he says.
And also it's from upstairs. Apparently we've learned now that there is an upstairs. It's like this.
And there's also upstairs. A downstairs.
Yes. So there's an upstairs, a downstairs. So this is middle management, Art.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So they messed up because Marty's alive.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, the actor that plays the part, they gave him baggy clothes because apparently he was ripped, which I think is hilarious. Like, you can't take off your shirt during the swim scene.
Oh, earlier in the pool, he sat on the dock. He didn't take off his shirt.
Because he's in great shape. He was in better shape than Thor was, probably. So he comes back and starts saving our final girl. Yeah. So they throw them in
at the control room. We realize that something's gone wrong. Marty appears. Everything's going haywire because that's going to mess everything up if Marty's still alive. And definitely she can't die before Marty.
No, apparently there's a sequence, which is kind of sucky because I keep thinking there's lots of ways that you can make a mistake here. Mm-hmm. Do the Buckners know that they have to kill in order? I don't think so.
They don't seem to care.
No, I don't think they care. So, but luckily everybody's been killed in order. But lo and behold, the Marty, the fool, apparently is still alive. So they take off.
Yes, they take off. They're running, and Marty, how did he survive? He takes her to the pit he was dragged into, and they look down. It's not a pit. It looks like the inside of an elevator or something. And he apparently killed this zombie. He killed it, and it's sort of in a pile, like on the corner of the elevator.
Yeah,
but it's still a zombie, so
still
it's
alive.
moving a little bit.
Yeah,
it's still alive.
I love the line. Is the best lines. So he goes, she looks down and sees the zombie puddle, and he goes, yeah, I dismembered that guy with a trowel. What have you been up to?
Obviously a reference, the trowel, obviously a reference, Eric, to the Night of the Living Dead, right? The woman was killed in the original Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, yes.
The trowel killing.
With the trowel, yeah.
That's immediately what I caught on to there.
Yeah.
So the zombie. And so they find the elevator, and they're like, well, the only way out is push the button, right? And
yep. And this is where they realize, too, that this is all a setup. He says, those fuckers have been sent up here to kill us. So they're realizing, wait a minute, this is all, finally they know this is something that's happening to them and someone else is doing it. And this is where also the movie turns again for the audience, is now the two worlds are one world now, which yes. I thought the writing, I mean, for a weekend of writing, come on, how did they come up with this shit? Pretty good.
Yeah. So the elevator goes down, and it's all darkness around them at first. But then you're hearing things and strange things, and
well, the elevator's made at least two sides of it are look like just glass, big glass. So they start going down, and these as a horror fan, I love this part of the movie because they give you so many creatures to look at.
Yeah, we
awesome.
Get the two that come out like sort of that are really lingered on. They start to see other creatures, and it looks like the creatures can't penetrate the glass between them. So they'll see a creature on one side of this thing they're in. It's a wolf man type thing, and it lunges at them, and clearly they can't get through. So they're safe in this thing that they're in.
Yes, and I need to correct you, Art.
I'm sorry.
I need to correct you. Yeah. Well, don't be sorry, just be right. So it's a werewolf.
A werewolf.
It's not a wolf man.
Not a wolf
man. It is a werewolf. Yeah. No. And it is a very, very awesome looking werewolf. And they see a specter as well. And you see that little, there's a ballerina.
The ballerina girl.
She turns around. Yeah. She turns around, and she has, instead of a face, it looks like she has a sarlacc pit on her face. It's just a circle with teeth. Yeah.
A little like Deadly Spawn from 1983, like attached to her.
Great movie.
To her head.
Great movie. Great movie.
Now, so we're seeing these things, and we're also starting to equate them with the things we saw in the basement. The little ballerina thing you mentioned, you open the box, the ballerina's twirling around, and that orb that I said was like Hellraiser. We now see that guy, and he looks like the Pinhead. He's sort of but what they've done is they put circular saw blades stuck into portions of his head. And whatever that actor was, they cast him great. He was eerie. He unblinking. He's just looking at them, and you're scared of that guy.
You are, because he's not looking with like a killer intent. He's just making a connection with Dana, which was really interesting. His name is actually quite humorous.
So we see that
the name of that.
I like that guy. Yeah,
Cenobite. Yeah, but he has a specific name which I looked up, and it's Fornicus, Lord of Pain.
Okay.
So Fornicus.
Fornicus.
You let that sink in a little.
But yeah, Fornicus is creepy.
Yeah, Fornicus, the fornicator.
And they're starting to put together that they're in this weird zoo type thing or whatever, these cubes, right?
Yes, but we the audience now see the scope of what they're looking at, because it zooms out, and And it's amazing because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of these glass boxes with anything, any creature you can imagine from any horror movie and beyond is in there. And again, this is a pause. This is a pause moment where you pause it and you just look at everything that's on there. And one of the things that's in there, which is kind of funny, is just a giant cat, like a kitten. It's just a kitten in there. I want to see that. I want to see the killer kitten that comes out. But everything is in there. So many cool things.
I'm watching the movie, that shot is so great. And then you're thinking, gosh, are they just trapped in this? But they are going to get down to the lobby or wherever this is.
The control room's in a complete panic now because they completely messed up. And so they say, go down there and make sure you kill the guy first. I don't care what happens to the girl, kill the guy. There's one guard that meets them. And instead of firing immediately, which is one of the, we'll talk about it when we're done with the movie storyline, but he could have ended it right there, but he doesn't. And he gets knocked out or killed. And then the zombie arm starts crawling on his face.
As the door closes.
Yes.
And another great Marty line.
What is that one?
He steps out. They step out of the elevator. And as he's stepping out, the zombie puddle, it grabs it reaches for his leg, and he goes, fucking zombie arm, like as he pulls away from it. It's like he's just kind of annoyed at it. He's got a
Yep.
So they're great. Down there, and Marty and Dana are going to hear a voice coming over the intercom.
Yes, and a familiar. If you don't know who's talking, then you are not a horror movie fan, because you don't have to see the person talking to know that this is a horror movie icon. So I was a little giddy when I heard the voice. I went, wait, is that? It's Ripley. It's Ripley. It's Sigourney Weaver.
And this voice is trying to tell them that they need to, what the stakes are here and what they need to do. And they're not really interested in succumbing at this point.
No, she lays it out. The voice lays it out and says, hey, look, you got to die so that the world can live. So inexplicably, in the middle of this multi-elevator area, there's what looks like a guard shack with glass windows. So they run in there, and then everybody starts coming in like a SWAT team. People running in.
It's they got them cornered in this little booth, and they start open firing on them, and the glass doesn't break at first. It's obviously bulletproof glass. They don't know what to do, and I don't know how Marty. How do you think Marty figures out to do this? There's a big red button, huge, in the middle of this control panel. Gigantic button. I'm sure this is one of the things you'd like to point out. Why would you have this button there?
There's theories. I have theories on it, and I will explain those theories to you. Okay. But yes, there's a big freaking button that says purge. It's not locked. You don't have to use a key or anything. It's just a purge button, like a cartoon button. So they're like, you know what? Fuck it. And
Marty, freaking. It's a good decision for them. Marty slams that button, and we see that the elevators are coming down, and the elevators reach the bottom floor, all of them. So it's a bank of elevators.
Yeah, it just goes ding. And you hear one of the guys go, oh, shit, or something like that.
Because I guess he knows what's coming. And it is a great shot, a great moment.
Oh.
And just from elevators on all sides, attack this phalanx of SWAT members or whatever. Just from every elevator comes something out.
Yes.
And they we see the molesting tree that you mentioned earlier is in there.
Yep.
Yes.
This is a point where if you're watching it, you're just a feast for the eyes. You can't stop looking at everything, and you cannot take everything in. So then you watch the movie again, and you'll see, man, did they do a lot here. There's a giant snake like a cobra. There's a dragon bat taking people out. There's a witch that's flying around, like turning somebody into a soul or a spirit. There's I forget what they're called exactly, but they're hobgoblins.
And there's a robot. There's a robot with a mechanical arm that you see. It's like orange and red or something, and it looks like a construction robot, and it's attacking somebody.
Yes, there's a unicorn. So many things. There's zombies. Then the elevator's doors open, and there's an homage to the people with the doll faces, the murderers.
That's the stranger. Was it like sort of the strangers?
Yeah.
Did they use those masks?
Yeah. So many homages to.
And they sort of they're just a group of people. They move very slowly and deliberately, and they're just kind of creepy.
Yep.
And now these things are loose in the compound. They're flying around. They're eating people. It just starts to be sort of mayhem out there. Yeah.
And for some reason, our two heroes are not really being messed with too much. All the monsters are too busy, attacking everybody. And what I like is when all the monsters are gone, it's just a blood-soaked foyer filled with elevators. And I forget who comes up to that place to look. It's like another guard or something. And he comes over, and it's a huge mess, except for 3 regular zombies are just busy eating. They're just doing on stuff.
We should note that the youngest Buckner comes down out of one of the elevators and walks into the compound.
Yeah.
So they show you her.
Yeah.
And we're going to see her walking around, as all this is going on.
Yeah. Yeah. What I also like is because they have so many screens, now that panic is ensuing, everybody's just trying to escape, and it's not happening. Everybody's dying. So our 2 main characters, plus the guard, and plus I'm going to call her Chem Lab girl or whoever it is, they're sort of trapped in the main room.
The control room, which has a huge door that's like a big safe door, iron door.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a pause moment is when you watch the movie again, which you will. You pause the screen here, and you can see on their TV screens, there's people getting killed. Something looks like an homage to the raptor foot coming down like that. And what I love is the guy is writing things and holding them up, and you can't even see what he's saying. He's like,
I tried to see what he was holding up. It's the intern, and he's just holding up signs.
Well,
and then they show the creepy porcelain people have some guy tied up, and they're dumping gasoline on him. Obviously, they're gonna set him on fire.
Yeah.
There looks like some crazy operation guys doing like an operation.
Yes.
They almost look like doctors. I think they might even have the little lights on
I
doctor lights on their head.
I can tell you what they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see if I have them here. Oh, they're just called the Doctor.
Oh, okay. Well, that's them.
Yep.
Right.
And then there's also something crawling on the ceiling. And so many, I don't know where this happens, but there's so many fun kills. And we did review, if anybody listened to that one, Death of a Unicorn. And I was complaining and you were complaining about the CGI. There's a unicorn in this, and it's a killer unicorn. And it looks 100 times better than what we saw in Death of a Unicorn. And you watch this unicorn basically spear a guy, and I think it's a real horse. I'm not sure, but it looks so good. And I thought, wow, that's a killer unicorn right there, just spearing everybody. Yeah. Right.
And so the control room, we see that the door is being battered from the outside, and door smashes open, and one of those winged creature just flies in. What is he, Eric, that creature?
That creature is a dragon bat.
The dragon bat. He looks like a dragon bat.
Yes, it is a dragon bat. And I believe, I don't know if it takes off through the ceiling or attacks somebody else, but it's not our main protagonist in this scene.
No, because so we have our guard, we have the chem woman, and we have our 2 two control room guys, Bradley Whitford and Richard Jenkins.
Yes.
And so they're in trouble now because the door's open. Yeah.
Yep. So
and
poor
so
Chem
who's
Girl.
the first one to go here?
Chem Girl, I think.
Chem Girl, yeah.
It could be our guard. She gets pulled through the ceiling by what I imagine is Cthulhu.
Yes.
So it's
like those
big
tentacle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know
and
what?
And then our guard, right? Our guard. But this is where I was expecting, even the second time I watched it here, I'm expecting there to be something with the guard because we've invested in him quite a bit through the movie, but he doesn't get like a tremendous moment or anything here. I don't, right?
No, he just that's where we were talking about, why is this guy so featured and so featured? And now I think that he was just put in there to be one of us, where we're going, well, why is this happening?
Yeah.
What's the importance? I think that's all he was there for, was exposition.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he dies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he dies by a bunch of I don't know if you noticed, but they were killer scarecrows.
Yes. They really come up with everything.
Yeah.
And then
they just killed him.
Richard Jenkins is going to take off out of there. Bradley Whitford is on the ground. There's fog all around. So we don't really know what's lurking. We know something's coming for him. And out of the mist, Erik, we start to put it together.
Yes, you hear sloshing noises. And then out crawling on the ground is a creature which only can be described as a grotesque version of a merman.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the Little Mermaid. It's not Poseidon. It is a horrific fish, grotesque monster thing. And another great line in the movie.
It is a fantastic way to subvert and play with our expectations throughout the whole movie. Because now we get it and we understand. And Bradley Whitford, I forget the exact line he says. What does he say, Erik? What is it?
Well, because remember, all he wanted was for the merman to be the killer. And when he finally sees it, he's so disappointed. He goes, "Oh, come on!" And then it just starts eating his face.
And it doesn't give up. I love this extra punchline. It has a blowhole in the middle of its back. So as it's eating Bradley Whitford, the blood is spewing out of this blowhole in the back of the merman and going all over the place, which we remember Richard Jenkins told us earlier, when the mermaid makes a kill, cleanup is really bad. So there's mayhem. Richard Jenkins is running through the halls and everything. And they even show, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but we see featured as everything's going crazy, walking through the hall, there was a video game called Fear. I don't know if you remember that video game with the girl that would just walk slowly towards you. It was really scary. And she's there. That girl is just walking down the hallway very, very, very slowly. And then the gargoyle comes in again. The wing bat. Erik, I keep mislabeling it.
No.
But it comes up. No, that's not what it is?
No, Art. It is a dragon bat.
The dragon bat. I'll get it right, Erik. I'll get it right. Promise.
Let's get it right.
It comes and smashes through the wall, right? It smashes through a wall, taking somebody out. So now there's a way out for our heroes. Dana and Marty are trying to make their way out, and they see this hole in the wall, and they're like, good, we can go through this hole. So Richard Jenkins is escaping, right, after all the mayhem in the control room. He goes down a ladder, he turns around, and just runs right into Dana. And she stabs him. Like, she stabs him right in the torso. And he's shocked, and she looks really shocked, too, when it happens.
Yeah, but this is the only accidental death, actually, in this whole thing. Everybody else is killed on purpose.
Right. Yeah.
But I think he says something to her like, you gotta do that, you gotta kill him, or you gotta, he knows that the fate of the entire world is at stake if Marty doesn't die, and doesn't die first.
Exactly. But a good little moment here. Marty looks at her. She's confused. He's confused. He gives her the gun. After Richard Jenkins says that, Marty actually hands Dana the gun. As if maybe he's like to reassure her or something. But yeah, I noticed that on the rewatch. I'm like, oh, he hands her the gun. And they run down the hallway. And they're now coming down into the ancient room, would you call it, right? What do you call that?
Honest, Art, I have no freaking idea what that room is. And if it really is just a glorified ritual, because there's nothing in the movie that says when they pull these levers, something happens other than them filling the room, filling the images with blood or whatever that goop is. So I'm not sure what that room does. It is covered. It looks like it's suspended over some endless pit or something like that.
There's like liquid down under there. There's some bubbling, roiling liquid down, far down. And we see
Well, because this happens in I don't know how many continents it happens on, but does every place have this? And I don't think it does, because I think the American trope, our new favorite word, is that you need these particular characters in a horror movie. So maybe in Japan or where was it? Czechoslovakia? No, they
Sweden
don't have
was the other one, the big one. Yeah.
Sweden, they probably have to have people who smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because this sacrifice order that they have set up here, like we see those things on the wall of the chamber, the symbols, and Dana's like, I think it's us. But I was like, how would you, from those carvings, how would you deduce that was you?
Very crude, very crude carvings, not even faces to speak of. Yeah.
It's not even like the caricatures they do on a boardwalk, where
yeah.
Great though, right? It's like,
wow, that's me on a skateboard. Look at that's me. Oh, that's you lifting weights. That's cool. Here's what I'll point out, Art, which I only noticed this particular time, is the guy that just got killed. He had a necklace and he kissed it in a scene when he did that, prayer to the gods. That necklace, the symbol, is the floor.
Yes, because they pulled back to show us what's on the floor. Yes.
Yeah. What is that all about? I
guess they're all. It does start to open up questions, Eric. When you've watched it a few times, you've probably had these questions too, where it's you're like, so are the people who work here? Do they go? They clearly go home to regular lives, because Bradley Whitford's talking about his wife. But are they all part of a cult? Are you sworn in? It makes me start to think about what is this place and this organization, and how is it all set up? But we're back to ritual, and they're putting it together that it's them, and Marty has one of his great lines. Marty's like, "We're a sacrifice? Whatever happened to just tying up a person on a stone slab and stabbing them?" And like, right?
Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of that. Like the other guy did the same thing when he said about throwing maidens into a volcano.
Yes, so, I connected it to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so just letting you know that I'm getting a message now on my printer from upstairs.
Oh.
Wait, it says, hold on, it's coming out. I don't know if you can hear that. Let me just check it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it says the world is ending. So
oh no. Do we need to do a sacrifice?
Get your last cappuccino if you can. No, I'm just making that up because my printer's going off. And I thought, you know what? This is live podcast, right?
And I think Mercury retrograde ended recently, so I don't think we can blame it on that, right?
Oh, and then somebody shows up, right?
Yep. It's our woman there that we heard over the loudspeakers earlier, and you clocked the voice you said the very first time you heard it. Yep. And it's Sigourney Weaver. coming in, and she's the person who, I assume she's the person who's been on the red phone, right? Are we to assume that she was the person calling into the...
I think she's the head of the department, is what I think.
And did she have a title in the movie? I don't think I remember if she had a title that they called the director. The director,
director, yeah. And what I would have loved at this moment, which is impossible, but this is what I thought of, is Dana's there, right? And the director comes in and she sees Marty and Dana, and I wish she had gone, Marty, Dana, and then Dana goes, "There is no Dana, only Zool."
Perfect.
Awesome.
Now, Eric, I wonder if they did that on purpose. I wonder if the name. I totally wonder if the name is on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these filmmakers clearly are wired in to the brains, like into that stuff, and so I wonder if that was an inside joke. But
I don't know.
She's here to tell us, Sigourney Weaver, explain everything.
Yeah.
This is it. It has to be this order, everything. Yeah. And then they fudge it a little bit because she says it has to be a virgin. And Dana says, a virgin? We clearly get the thing like, what? I don't. And she goes, wait, we work with what we can get.
Work with what we can get. That's the way it goes. Because Marty's technically not really a fool. He's kind of a smart dude. So, they explain the whole thing. And I think what we have is it has to be an athlete, a scholar, fool, virgin. And I'm saying this last just because it's a great cringy word. A whore!
Yes. Yeah.
Whore. But in order, it has to be, I think, whore, athlete, scholar, fool, virgin, which leaves a lot of room for error. I don't think the gods would be too pissed, to be honest.
Seriously. Yeah. Because they're letting... What we've seen, Eric, is they are letting really crazy creatures loose on these things.
Yes.
Now, I might trust like the people in the porcelain masks to do the correct order very meticulously, right?
Maybe.
They might be able to handle it. But if you set that winged dragon bat thing,
what the hell?
How are you going to make sure that the winged dragon bat does them in the right order? Like how?
Yeah, let's think about that, Art. How many of these creatures would be like, they got the memo, they have the piece of paper in their hand or on their cell phone. They're like, okay, yeah, I got to kill them in this order. All right.
Right.
Yep. I mean, I think with the bat, it would be over in minutes.
Yeah.
So
the unicorn, although he seemed pretty precise, the unicorn seemed very
unicorn.
Yeah, he might get everybody. But some of them are just, even some of the humanoid ones are just insane. They're crazy. You're gonna trust the clown to get everybody?
Or zombies. The other zombies. I would say the ones that aren't as with it. They don't. They just want to eat somebody. That's all.
Yeah. So there's some holes in this plan, I think. But here, she tells Marty, she lays it out to him. You can die with them, or you can die for them. And Marty's response, 5 stars again. 5 stars. He says those are both such enticing options.
Yeah.
But then he realizes we see behind him, Dana raises the gun.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw it, this is great storytelling, great filmmaking. I did not know how this was going to end at this moment. Is she going to shoot him? That would make sense. Is she not going to? Is she going to turn the gun on Sigourney Weaver? That would kind of make sense. How are we going to do this? Because what we're thinking, Eric, is if she doesn't kill Marty, because at this point we believe them. We don't think this is fake. The world is going to end. I'm not thinking Sigourney is lying. So I don't know how it's going to end. And he turns around. She says, "I'm sorry." And he says, "I'm sorry too." But why does he say, "I'm sorry too," Eric?
Yes, because, and great character too, that werewolf, awesome werewolf is coming back, and he just starts chowing on her like meaty bits on the shoulder.
Yes.
Yes.
And she falls. The gun goes skidding across the floor.
Yep.
And Marty is able to get the gun and shoots the werewolf, but I don't think they're silver bullets. So
no, they're not. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
So the werewolf's wounded.
Kind of takes off.
Yeah, it takes off up the stairs, scurries up the stairs around the corner. And then Marty and Sigourney are having an all-out hand-to-hand combat. It's pretty intense. So, yeah.
They're going at it. They're going at it. And Dana's kind of out of commission, right? Dana's
just sitting on the stairs, and she's... Yeah. I think it got some of her neck. I think we're meant to believe it's a very serious wound.
Right here, that meaty bit. Shoulder, the one that you get massages on. She's not getting a massage again. Mm-hmm. No, never a massage again.
Yeah, and Sigourney Weaver's getting the better of Marty at the edge. He's on the edge of the thing. He could fall off. She's pushing him down. But then we see a POV coming down the staircase. And I think when you're first seeing the movie, you're thinking the werewolf's coming back. That's what you're thinking. The werewolf scurried off. Yep. Mm-mm. And then Dana looks over, and we hear a sort of hissing sound as something passes by her, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. And moving slowly. And who is it, Eric?
It's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Imagine if they had an evil Mrs. Doubtfire.
Wouldn't that be cool if there was
with her broom and it had like a...
Yeah. He's like, oh, hello, I'm going to hit you in the face with this pie.
Or the vacuum.
Time to die. No, it's not, but that would have been fun. But no, it's the little Buckner. Mm-hmm. Right? It's the little Buckner girl.
And little Buckner lands that axe right into Sigourney's head, right through the back of it. Pretty good effect. It looks great. And Sigourney falls over, and Marty throws Sigourney, and he gets the little Buckner girl. They go over the edge, and we see them fall all the way down, right?
Yeah, but with the werewolf, because the werewolf is the catalyst for them all falling.
That's right. You're right. I forgot that part.
They all take a header, because other Dana. Sigourney, Ripley's dead. And then the werewolf basically comes out, and they topple over the edge. The Buckner girl's gone. And I have to ask you this, Art. Did the Buckner girl, whose name I forget, Lil Buckner, Lil B, did Lil B do this on purpose because she was done? Like, she's like, you know what? Why did she choose to kill the director?
She's going... Good question.
I know. That's why I keep going. It's a good question.
But she's down.
The two of them are left, and the place is coming down. Right?
And so they sit. Marty pulls up next to her. She's not doing too good. He asks her, and she says, how are you doing? And she says, I'm going away.
Definitely dying, because a lot of the wounds, one of the, not a flaw, because I love this movie, but one of the things I'm like, is Marty got his ass kicked, and she got her ass kicked, and they keep getting up and getting up. I mean, he's got a stab wound. She's been freaking thrown all over the place, and a werewolf I mean, she should be dead by now. Now, finally, they're all like, oh. It's almost like a John Wick situation where,
and
John Wick
Marty lights up a joint for them to smoke.
Yeah, and just had it in his pocket. Yeah,
yeah, and she says something interesting, which I only noticed on the rewatch here. I don't think I remembered from my original viewing of the movie. Dana says, "You know what? I don't even think Kurt has a cousin. Kurt's cousin had bought the cabin." Yeah. And she suddenly just thinking like, that's weird, because I don't think Kurt has a cousin. Yeah. So that made me think like, how did they end up at the cabin? I guess isn't that strange?
It's the puppeteers, man. It's the puppets. Yeah. They're making us puppets, man.
Right. Yeah.
So the puppeteers did it.
And they're sitting there, like you said, big huge things are coming down, crashing on the set. It all looks real, by the way. I don't know if it looks like they're dropping styrofoam things or whatever on the set. The floor's cracking open. We really get the feeling the end is coming. And they're just getting closer to each other. And I remember in the movie, I'm like, is this going to end? The world's going to end, I think. And what does Marty say? He goes, giant, oh no, Dana says giant evil gods. I wish we could have seen them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And he says, giant evil gods. That would have been a fun weekend.
Yeah, that would have been. And it everything sort of crashes, and they do that final thing. That big hand comes up out of the ground and smashes through the cabin, through the actual cabin.
Yeah, and you're back up on the surface, and you just see this big, which was cool, but it was CG, wasn't the for the ending monster wasn't great, but the giant hand comes up, all kind of lava, like crackly, and kills everybody, including the viewer.
As much as, like you said, it looked kind of fakey, CGI. It did at least evoke for me like old movie posters, like Dead and Buried, and those old movie posters or covers of old horror paperbacks, right, where the hand is coming up out of the ground. It evoked that. It did a good job of that for me. And right.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's it.
Well, what I like about it is as the viewer, you are being annihilated because it goes to black. The hand comes right towards you.
Yes.
And so what we're left with, I'm pretty sure, is that's it for everybody.
Yes, that's it. We're all gone. And that's a brave way to end a pretty audacious movie. And I think a perfect way to end the movie, too.
I loved it because I thought there was so many. I guess is this where we talk about what we love?
All right, you go, Eric. How do you feel about Cabin in the Woods?
Me? You want me to go first? Well, for me, this kind of movie is so great because it gives the horror fan pretty much everything that they want. And the unique premise of this movie, which seldom happens. There's so many movies out there where you just, yep. This one just blows your mind with the premise of that there's gods under the earth, and that the world every year has to stop them from coming out by doing basically a horror film of some kind, but in real life. I thought that was good. And the effects, this is where a movie succeeds with practical effects and then gets away with the CG of other stuff. Because the Buckners were there, the monsters were there. They were very scary because you knew they were attacking. And then when they had CG monsters, it was still good. And there was comedy in it, but it was also moments of terror. You got all the things you wanted out of a horror movie. I won't say that nudity is one of them because it's not necessary, but it was there. And then so I love this movie, and what I love about seeing Cabin in the Woods is when you watch it again, like you don't have any idea what's going on. Then you watch it again, it's a completely different movie. Then when you watch it again, you get to start savoring the buffet table, which is this movie. You can pick the things that you want to focus on, and that is even better. And you would really have to, just seeing this movie again, I noticed like I said, the necklace. So many things to notice. So I could see this movie again. If I was thinking, what am I going to watch tonight? There's nothing I'm thinking of. Bam. Cabin in the Woods. Yep.
All right.
So,
good.
And you didn't like it, you said. You hated it.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately. No. This is I'll preface this by saying if you had asked me the first time I saw it, I walked out, I really liked it. I did the first time. I probably would have said, yeah, that's like a 4-star movie. I enjoyed it. It was super witty, way better than I thought it was going to be. Oh, I see you have some creatures in the glass cube back there. Is he ready to?
There's a glass cube behind me with
you should.
Reptilicus
Don't let him out.
back there.
Don't let him out.
No, I didn't choose him. I didn't choose the bowl of reptile food.
Right. So, when I first saw it, so I would say like a 4-star, and I really liked it. On this rewatch, the first rewatch I did for this podcast, I was watching it, and about halfway through, I would say I was in 5-star territory. This is a really good movie. It is a really, really good, well-constructed. It's fun. It's entertaining. And very important, because you guys out there probably know when you're listening, Eric and I see a lot of these movies that try to balance horror and comedy. That's a lot of movies out there. And it's a really hard thing to nail perfectly. Some do, some go one way, some go the other, some don't quite mix it. I thought this was kind of perfect because I always felt scared for them. I always felt worried, right? But I also just laughed consistently throughout it. And there were surprising moments. Everything is set up and paid off. They really paid attention to that. Things like we talked about earlier, like the hawk running into the force field early, and we don't really understand what that is. But then later we've kind of forgotten about it. So when Thor hits the thing with the motorcycle, we're whoa, and then when you watch it again, this is the key thing. Like you said, when you watch it again, that's coming. So you're actually kind of giddy with the anticipation of it coming. But also subsequent rewatches just let you savor all the little moments, all the dialogue, all those things that people say. Even Marty's lines, each time I watch it, I think I mentioned earlier about how he even drops earlier in the thing, maybe society should just all crumble and come to an end. There's a lot of things where the laugh lines or Marty's lines in your first watch, you're just thinking they're a stoner, but they clearly are tied into the overall themes of the movie. And I don't want to undersell, the cast all do a really good job. All of them, top to bottom. The people in our group in the cabin, they know what they're there to do, and they do it. They go for it. Jules, she knows the character she's supposed to be playing, and they throw all this sexy stuff at her, and you can tell the actress just knows what she's supposed to do. She goes for it, and it's fun. But you mentioned something in the podcast that I really liked earlier, Eric, where you said you never are annoyed with any of these people. You're never like, oh, this person. Sometimes when you see actual horror movies, they're either duds or you're not really that interested in them, or maybe there's one. The final girl is an interesting actress and character, but everybody else is very disposable, not only death-wise, but also character-wise.
You don't want them to die, right? No. You don't want to be the guys in the control room are kind of jerky, but there would be upper management jerky. You'd expect that, but that's what. Yes, I agree with you about. You like the characters, and you don't want them to die. They're never kind of an ass face. They're always. You're realizing that they're actually trapped in a situation. They're not just being like summer camp unruly,
Yeah. And I think that I just caught on the rewatch, I mentioned a few of them throughout the podcast, the meta things that I've seen about horror movies in general with Japan and Sweden and the United States. And also there is a larger theme going on here about why do we want to see these things? there's the interchange with the chemist and our security guard guy, where they talk about the nightmares, and these are what our nightmares. These are where our nightmares come from. But then our nightmares come from this ancient thing. And then our nightmares kind of make it onto movie screens, if you think about it, where we then watch them to enjoy them on movie screens, but we don't enjoy them when they're our nightmares. It's a very interesting layers of things that I think that this movie is getting at. I mentioned earlier that whole scene with watching, who's watching, how constructed are things. I even thought about that this time through. How constructed and how much design versus free will is there in the universe? And you see what I mean? Because they have this elaborately laid plan, right, Eric? But it involves like our choice. So it's I thought of things like that going through. So I don't want to oversell the movie that it's this genius movie on that level, but I do think that
when you say oversell, though, you brought it up. So first and foremost, we both enjoy this movie. So we can tear it apart a little bit, because I think fans of this movie, what they might like about this podcast is, there's room for, oh yeah, right, that's right. So
yes,
there's a couple things where you just like, wait a minute, what? How did they? Like I think I said before, if this is happening all over the world, what's the cover up here? I mean, you can cover up the Buckners, right? 5 zombies, you can do that. So how do you cover up the Mothra, or how do you cover that up? And then the other thing is, once they did their job, let's start with the Buckners. The Buckners succeed. Let's say they kill everybody. Do they have a shock collar that makes them go back to the cube?
I don't know. I mean, there's a force field around the area, so I guess it can be contained in some way.
Gather them up. How do you gather up? Mecha Godzilla? No, I mean a bigger monster. How do you wrangle the dragon bat?
Or even the Hellraiser guy. I don't think he's going to go quietly.
Yeah, he's got stuff. He's got shit to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so things like that. And then, of course, the order in which they have to be killed. We've talked about that. But it doesn't matter, because this movie you can forget about this stuff. Like, why are they so lax on this one, especially when Japan fails? We're the only hope for humanity, and they're still dicking around. I mean, come on. Somebody would have just gone out there in the woods and been like, you know what? We're going to pop the fool off. Pop, pop, pop. He's dead. Okay, that's it. We're done. Then you can have your champagne. You can go home to your wife and say, yep, another day. Another day at work.
And I think I mentioned earlier at the time, they do that thing in movies where they kind of fudge it a little bit, where Marty's dead. We're supposed to, like, they're like, they kind of really make us think Marty's dead, because when Marty comes back, he's pretty active for a guy that got stabbed in the back. Like, when on my rewatches, he gets stabbed through his back. So yeah,
and they hit some artery because there was a blood spout that came up.
Yes, exactly.
But that happens in all movies, especially when people lose a loved one. Yeah. Like, they cry over the loved one, and then 5 minutes later they're okay. They're like, "No, let's go."
Well, I
always think that's one.
And I remember Vince Gilligan, the guy who I think made Breaking Bad a long time ago. I saw him in an interview, and he said, if you're going to kill somebody, you have to show them die. He said, otherwise, the fans of your show will be doing conspiracy theories for the rest of the time the show is on that character is not dead. So if he's like, if you want people to think they're dead, then you show them dead. And I think The Walking Dead ran into a problem with that, right? With a character during one season, right? Well, everybody, they didn't actually show it.
No, and then they had an after the show. they talk about it, and they didn't say goodbye to him on that show. But I knew he wasn't dead because I think I was sitting with somebody watching it, and I'm like, he's not dead, because they do not show you. And when he died off screen, I think it was a little bit of a cheat where they showed the blood spurt come out.
Yes, yeah.
So that was a little cheat. And you said,
and these are nitpicks. I want everybody to know. I love this movie, so these are just
You pointed out
things.
I think they had monitors. You said like life monitors.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you say they had monitors? Or I thought if they had life monitors to show if they were alive, they would definitely know he's dead. But they had so many cameras too.
I think they did have something like that, like their vital signs, and they wouldn't notice Marty's vital signs are still going. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Listen to us trying to find fault with this.
Yeah, now I feel like we don't want.
It's great. It's great.
If you haven't seen the movie and you've listened to this whole podcast, now you know the whole movie. But I'm telling you, if you haven't seen the movie in a while, go back and watch it. You'll be really surprised how because my feeling, Eric, when I first saw this movie was after I walked out of it, I felt, well, that's a great movie. Like I said, I had a great time. But there's no need to watch it again because all of the twists and all the revelations are done. And so it really isn't. I had a great time knowing everything going through this. You've mentioned it again and again. And if you're watching it on demand on your TV or on your computer, you can pause and see all sorts of stuff in the corners of the frame. You can see, you can catch so many details that they're putting into this.
And I know you can find this on IMDb or wherever all of you horror movie nerds are going to see it. But I do have the list, and I'm just going to read it to you, Art, because if I read it already, I apologize. But on the board, the things you can pick for the pool is Werewolf, nailed it. Alien Beast, we saw it. Mutants, I think we saw it. Wraiths, Zombies, Reptilicus, saw his foot. Clowns. That clown was awesome. Witches. And I was wrong about sexy vampires. It's sexy witches. Mm-hmm. So they're like, hey, and then they demons, the Hell Lord, angry molesting tree, just giant snake. We saw those. Deadites, very different than zombies. The Mummy is in there.
Did we see the Mummy in the bottom? Did we see a mummy?
Yes, there's a glimpse of the Mummy. The Bride, which what's her name could have picked? Jules,
yeah.
She was ready to pick the Bride. The Scarecrow Folk, which killed the our
security guard.
Yep. And the Scarecrow Folk. Since when do scarecrows travel in a pack? Snowman. What if they picked a snowman?
I don't know. I don't know if you saw the movie Red One with the Christmas movie, but those snowmen.
No, I didn't.
Maybe those.
I did not on your recommendation. Yeah, I'm not going to see that movie. I can't. I can't see a jacked Santa. I'm sorry. That's a horror show in itself to me. So Dragon Bat, we love that guy. Vampires were in there. Dismemberment goblins. If you could go on images, you get to see these guys, that they're actual physical guys, just dismemberment goblins, not regular goblins. Sugar Plum Fairy, which we loved, right? Mm-hmm. The Dreaded Merman. Mm-hmm. That would have been a long movie because how is the merman going to kill off everybody? They're going to have the whole scene is at the lake. The Reanimated. Unicorn, nailed it. Huron, which I think what is it? I don't know. Maybe let us know because I have no freaking idea. And this one is, we all know this is one creature depending on where you are in the world, but Sasquatch / Wendigo / Yeti.
Mm-hmm. Which I think we saw dead on a TV screen in one of the other countries.
That could have been that might have been a Yeti. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. But then dolls, actual dolls. Our are the ones that they got picked: Zombie, Redneck, Torture Family.
Mm-hmm.
That's the longest one. The Doctors, we saw them. Jack-o'-lantern. If you look, during the chaos, you can see it's a scarecrow with a jack-o'-lantern head, and it attacks you by spewing fire out of its mouth. Giant, which I'm not so sure we saw. Twins, The Shining. You see them in the box, the twins, and then of course we never get to see, but I don't think we need to. Kevin, Kevin. We don't really see Kevin, and so many others. There's a blob. There's a just all kinds of crazy monsters, and I think that is so awesome that they actually existed, not only on paper, but we got to see most of those. That was so cool.
They didn't make it just a throwaway joke on the board. Mm-hmm. They delivered on that. Because when you see it on the board, you're like, oh, this is funny. But then then we see them in sort of those cubes. But then when they all come out in the, I didn't expect at that one shot. So that was great. That was fantastic.
Yes.
I would say, this is a movie, as you've just demonstrated, you can see a lot by pausing it, looking at it, rewatching it just straight through. It's really a delight.
Yeah, I think it's fun to call it a horror comedy too. It's like, don't expect going in to be just laughing so much, but the situations are funny, but it mixes both of those very well.
It's great.
Yeah.
And you should watch it. So any thoughts left on it that you have to say?
You usually ask me about
Eric, this is the problem. No, but the problem is everybody keeps writing in. They're emailing us and they keep bugging us. And I feel bad because we haven't got a rating system yet. We haven't decided on a rating system for the podcast yet. And people keep asking me about it.
No, we have. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why they. Yeah.
Oh, we actually decided on it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course we did.
What did we decide on?
This was 10 out of 10 Titans.
Titans. Okay.
Yeah. All right. That one's not that great because. Yeah. No. Wait. Let me check my notes here.
Oh.
Oh no. I'm sorry. 8 out of 9 Buckners.
Oh, the Buckner scale. That's right.
Buckner scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to retract the original one. So it's 8 out of 9 Buckners on the Buckner scale.
Okay. All right. See, okay, that's good because people are always asking us about that and I feel bad about it.
Yeah, maybe they're not listening all the way through. I don't know.
All right, Eric.
I don't.
So we did it, and people should know, just as a little tag here, Eric and I, this has been a tough one for us. We had internet connection problems, and this was a tough one for us to record for you, but we really wanted to get it done because we loved this movie, and we really enjoyed talking about it. But this was a grind for us to get this out to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we look forward to having you join us at the Midnight Cinema, and you can always find us on midnightcinemapod.com. You can email us at midnightcinemapod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Also, you can give us recommendations of movies you think we might want to check out that you want to hear us to go through. Also, please subscribe on your favorite podcast apps and rate and review us. That helps us get the word out. So we want to thank you so much for listening. And Eric, it has been great. And I will see you again.
Art, more than anything, I just want this moment to end.
Oh!
Yeah! Buster!
Yes! Ah! Oh! Good one. All right.